Hey, what's up? So you have watched videos for the Taiwan MOA. You probably noticed two latest product from Archwick, which one of them is a bolt and one of them is the trigger box for the MWS. So I'm just gonna do a quick unboxing and then maybe do a little bit of comparison between the stock trigger box for the MWS and this latest product from Archwick. I wouldn't say it's probably not the latest product. Probably came out 2 months ago, but I've got my hands on it. I'm just gonna unbox it right now. So what's so special about it? As you can tell, this is not a ordinary or traditional stock MWS trigger box. This is kind of like the real firearm trigger. It's just actually kind of hard to take it out. Hold on. Okay, so back to this video. All right, sorry about the mess right there. So as you can tell, this is not a traditional MWS trigger box. This is kind of like replicating how the real firearm trigger is. Also similar to the VFC and GHK version of their trigger box. Actually, no trigger box for GHK and VFC. So they just mimic how the real firearm trigger is and put it into a housing that is compatible with the MWS lower receiver. So let me see, because I haven't had a chance to get my hands on the GHK and VFC M4, so I'm not sure how it's gonna, I can't do a comparison on that. So let me see if the trigger is gonna work like that. Oh, okay, there we go. So same as this traditional trigger box, you have like a sear right here. Once this is cocked down, you have to press this part to have release it, and then you pull the trigger. Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Also notice the spring right here. It's kind of like a VFC or GHK style trigger. So that is very interesting product, obviously. So let's see what else is in there. Okay, there's some screws, springs, and the pin right here. I think it is for installing into the lower receiver, and the bolt stop, we just took it out. I think that's a traditional bolt stop. Okay, so it goes on here perfectly. Okay, so let me give you a better look again. I'm not sure whether you can change it out with another kind of aftermarket MWS trigger. I'm not sure if they share the same spec. Probably not, I guess. And again, just like the traditional MWS trigger box, there's a roller right here on the hammer. Okay, now let's move on, because these are sold as a set. You cannot just buy the trigger box as a standalone item. So I was forced to buy this bolt as well. I think this is a full steel, steel bolt. So the length and the weight is right here. CNC bullet saying medium carbon steel. So just an ordinary bolt, I guess. Nothing so fancy about it. Doesn't look like it's MPass compatible. I don't see any screws in there. Okay, but that's pretty solid. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this into a very old MWS of mine. If you guys have watched, actually, if you have seen my Instagram before, one of the oldest posts is a MWS MTR with the Geisley MK4 rail on it. I'm gonna put a picture on here on the screen, and that was one of my favorite guns actually back in the days, probably 5 or 6 years ago. But as you can tell, as you can see in my other videos, it no longer exists pretty much. I never showcased that gun in my videos or Instagram posts anymore. So that was because I buy a lot of new guns, and that's what happened to airsofters, right? You could buy a lot of guns and then you ditch the old ones. So now I'm gonna put this into the very old MK4 MTR build. So this is a pretty beat up MK4 build that I had a few years ago. This is based on the MWS MTR with a Geisley MK4 replica rail on it. There's a stock trigger box in it, MWS trigger box, with the Radiance Arms Vertex style trigger manufactured by Vulcan Airsoft that I bought a few years ago. So let's test the trigger. This is a stock trigger box. This is the first wall, and more pressure on it. Yeah, it's pretty sluggish. A lot of you guys probably know already. MWS doesn't have the best trigger comparing to GHK or VFC. It's just not the best thing ever. First wall, more pressure, more pressure. Yeah, you will never find out where the second wall is. So that is the stock MWS trigger box. And now I'm gonna swap it out and replace it with the Archwick new trigger box for the MWS. Alright, so I just took out the trigger box, the stock MWS trigger box from my donor MWS. So I'm gonna give you a direct comparison on how it looks like for both trigger box. Let me actually release trigger. Alright, so as you can tell, there's a lot of difference out here. I would say it's more simplified for the Archwick. As you can tell, like probably a lot of people already know, MWS trigger box is more for gas efficiency. So on the gas efficiency side, the trigger box is more well made. As you can tell, there's just a lot more parts in the trigger box for the stock MWS, whereas the Archwick has a lot less, probably just a few, like probably just 5 parts, I guess. I'm not gonna break this down, unfortunately. Yeah, I just don't feel like doing it right now. Yeah, I just mentioned this is very simplified design for the Archwick. It's more like the rear steel firearm. And now, let me see. So this is the bolt stop I just removed from the stock MWS, the MTR, and I just accidentally broke the ambidextrous bolt release, so that's a bummer. So whatever, I'm not going to use this gun anymore. So doesn't look like the stock bolt release is going to work on the Archwick trigger box. So this is the bolt stop that comes with this Archwick Type-A trigger box. Yeah, it just fits perfectly as expected, but it wouldn't work for actually probably I'm wondering, is it because this is for the MTR, which has like an extended bolt release on the right side as well? So I'm not sure whether that's the cause for the incompatibility. Yeah, I'm not sure for this one actually, because I don't have a spare stock MWS bolt stop to test it out, but I'm gonna let you guys guess by how the Archwick bolt stop looks like, and you can guess whether it's going to be compatible, whether the stock bolt stop is going to be compatible with the Archwick. So okay, let me put this aside. Does it, oh hold on, does it actually need a bolt stop plate? I don't think so. Okay, wow, that's a wow, I'm pretty impressed by that, because again, a lot of you guys probably know already since you're watching my video, there's a bolt stop plate for trigger box, the stock MWS trigger box, but it doesn't come with a bolt stop plate for the Archwick, so I guess it's not necessary. All right, okay, enough with the bullshit. Let me just put this into the lower receiver of the donor gun right here. I'm just going to use the spring from my stock MWS. Okay, it's not even gonna work. It's a little bit too big. So let me see. All right, I guess this is a screw to secure it from the back. And then the pin, I'm not too sure about that. Oh, sorry. This is for securing the trigger box into the lower receiver. But I'm not too sure about this part. Oh, okay. So it should go in here, just like the stock MWS trigger box. Okay, whatever, let me take this out. Okay, so the big pin right here should go on here. Yeah. And then this should be the bolt stop spring, which is a lot smaller than the stock trigger box. Bolt stop spring goes on here perfectly. But I gotta figure out, what is this? Does it go on like this? I'm not too sure about that. Okay, should be the same as the stock trigger box, I guess. Okay. Okay, finger crossed I'm not gonna lose this part. Okay, so I guess that's how it works. So it's just kind of like a D10, same as the stock MWS trigger box right here. Okay, and then let me put this. Okay, now this is the tricky part. I hate this part every single time when I try to assemble my MWS. Okay. So this spring is supposed to go on here, and you gotta secure it somehow with an awkward angle. Okay, there we go. Now that's in place. Okay. And then just drop right in, and that should be it. Oh, perfect fit. Okay, let me put this. So I actually wonder what does this do then? I might be missing something, I'm not too sure. Again, this is not a tutorial, this is just an unboxing video, all right? I'm not trying to educate anyone here. Not an expert myself, so. Okay, let me put this pin in. I need a hammer. Where the fuck is my hammer? Oh, all right, that's on the floor. Okay. Okay, perfect. And this screw right here, I guess, should go on to this ring right here. And then you insert this screw into the hole right here. I'll try to give you a bit of help right here to secure it, but I'm not gonna do it just for the sake of this video. But I really wonder what this is. What does this do? I'm not too sure about that. But as long as it's gonna work, then I don't really care. Awesome. So that gives you a really realistic look on your MWS. So let me try to assemble everything, and actually let me try to put on, install the fire selector first. Let's see how it's gonna work. Now it works. All right, awesome. Okay, so So I'm not gonna bother to install the other side of the fire selector. This is an ambidextrous fire selector with the stock MTR MWS. So the fire selector works, rotates just fine. Doesn't seem like there is any problem with that. Okay, and now let's see if it's gonna work. It's on safe right now. All right, and then semi-auto. Bam. Full auto. Perfect. And this pin just dropped out. What the hell, man? So there might be a little bit of compatible issue with that. So you gotta watch out, man. If you are gonna be buying this trigger box, you gotta make sure this pin is gonna secure it tightly into your lower receiver. I'm assuming you're not gonna be using the stock lower receiver, since a lot of people like to use aftermarket lower receiver just to pump up their guns. So do you want to check out how it's gonna fire? I bet you do. Just give me 1 sec. So this is the ASAC, sorry, not ASAC, Archwick, the steel bolt. I'm gonna put it into this donor MWS. Fits perfectly. And then let me just put everything together. Okay. Now let me put in the mag. I don't have a mag release, so it's not going to secure it. I'm just going to push it against my body just to secure it. And the pin just dropped. Okay, bolt lock is fine without a bolt release plate, because it's not supposed to be there. And then let me try to put this back in. All right, whatever. Okay, I'm going to press against the bolt release. Ooh. That's a weight of a steel bolt. All right, fire. Let me put it on safe. Sorry, semi-auto. Ooh, that's not good. Could be my Mac, or I don't have a Mac release. Let me try to fix this. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother with installing a Mac release. I'm just gonna push it as hard as possible against my body, and that should work. Okay, this is charged with green gas in the magazine, stock MWS magazine. Ooh, nice. Bolt launch is fine, and I'm not. Right now I'm pressing against the bolt release, as you can see here, with the cutout, so it's not gonna lock up the bolt. Oops. Ooh, that's not good. It's probably because I'm shooting sideways, so you're supposed to be shooting like that. Let me try to do it again. Okay, now it's on full auto. Ooh. Okay, again, I'm shooting sideways, so this is not going to be happening when you're shooting vertically with the gun. So let me test the trigger. Is it as crisp as the VFC ones? That's probably one of the answers that you most likely want to find out. All right, let's go. So this is the first wall. Okay, one more. First wall, pressure, pressure, pressure. Surprisingly, even with, you know, the realistic design of the trigger, it's kind of still very sluggish. Well, not very, it's not as sluggish as the traditional MWS trigger box, but still, this is the first wall, Pressure. Yeah. Again, the second wall is very unclear. You're not gonna be you're not gonna be able to find out where the second wall is. I would say it does make a little bit of difference. First wall. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Yeah, it's more tactile, crisp than a stock trigger box, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. Yeah. Even after like 5 tries, I'm still not able to find out where the second wall is. Is it the first wall? Pressure, 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 and bam. Like, it just, I don't know, it just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just sluggish, in my opinion, comparing to a VFC or GXJ. Yeah, I think that's about it. So do I recommend you to buy it? Yeah, yes and no. It really depends on whether you wanted something innovative, you want something more like a realistic design, just like VFC or GHK. Whenever you try to disassemble the gun, I would say it cycles a lot smoother. However, that's one of the I would say positive thing about this trigger box. It's really smooth, because for the stock trigger box, usually there's like a little resistance against the bolt when you try to cock it back. However, for this one, for the trigger box by Archwick Type-A trigger box, it's really smooth. I'm surprised how smooth that is, and you can do this all day long. So that's about it. Sorry for using a donor gun. I don't have a spare gun to test it out right now, because a lot of my guns, because I'm a lefty, so a lot of my guns are actually ambidextrous, and that requires a lot of work to take it out, because just like my Spirit LT, my Noveski Ghetto Blaster, there's always a little parts like connecting to the left side of the gun, and then it's just too much work for me. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna test the Type-A trigger box by Archwick on a donor gun. I think that should be enough for this unboxing video in comparison. So performance wise, I wouldn't say it's gonna make a difference, honestly. The trigger, especially the wall, it's just it's pretty much similar to the stock trigger box. Is it an upgrade? I would say yes, it is. However, because of how smooth the bolt cycles, but that's just about it. So do you want a smoother cycle of the bolt? If yes, then yeah, why not go for it? I forgot how much it costs. Let me check it out right now. So I just checked out JK Army's website. It's for sale for about $256 and it's out of stock right now. And is it worth $256? I would say yes, for a much smoother cycle on the bolt. And that's due to I believe it's actually due to the design of the trigger box, because the bolt is just a regular, honestly, just a regular MWS bolt. There's nothing fancy about it. The design of that realistic trigger gives it a more smoother cycle on the bolt. And if you're looking for that, definitely go for it. And then for the most concerned part by a lot of people, which is a trigger, the feeling of a trigger, I would say it's not an upgrade. It's just similar to a stock MWS trigger. It's not a lot better. It's a little bit better, but it's not a lot. So it's not going to be worth upgrading if you're looking for the trigger feeling. Yeah, so that's what you want, then don't upgrade it. But again, it really depends on your budget. If you have the money, then why not, right? It's an innovative design for the MWS platform. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this trigger box and see how it performs in games, if I have a chance to go to games. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, by the way, I think a lot of people would like to know whether a aftermarket MWS bolt is gonna work with the Archwick Type-A trigger box. So I'm just gonna test it out right now. So this is by T8. This is a SLR bolt. Worked just fine. I'm not gonna test fire it, so you already know it's gonna work. Again, it's very smooth, even with the other like the aftermarket MWS bolt. It still cycles very smooth, which I like it a lot. All right, peace. This is so tight into the box. What the hell, man? Okay, gotta figure something out. Should I pry it out? Am I gonna damage the trigger box? Yeah, that's probably the only way. Bro. There we go.